Groovy.
Greetings, children of the screen, your friendly neighborhood nerd scum here, and today I am joined by...
Taylor.
And for the final installment in the
Christmas of
Bruce Campbell, we're taking a look at the new Bruce Campbell holiday film from motherfucking Hallmark, One December Night, which is why I needed this much of my Christmas Turkey 101 to get through it. Yeah. Now, if you guys have not seen the rest of the videos in my Christmas of Bruce Campbell series, then please check out the link above that is popping up right now. And if you'd like to check out some more of the Bruce Campbell content that me and Taylor have done, then please check out this link for the Evil Dead October that we did a couple of years ago. So, without any further ado, let's dive into One Night in December from Hallmark. One Night in December, a TV movie released by Hallmark in 2021 this year, rated TV PG with a runtime of 1 hour and 24 minutes. Directed by Claire Nidaprem? Is she Canadian? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. She's the lady who directed this movie. She did her best. It's a Hallmark movie. Written by Eric Brooks and Sib Ventris, with a cast that includes, but is not limited to, motherfucking Bruce Campbell, Peter Gallagher, Eloise Mumford, also known as Discount Emma Stone, and Brett Dalton, also known as, what's his character's name?
Agent Grant Ward!
Agent Grant Ward from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You probably got that from the agent part. Andrew Durand, Jenna Stern, and Jasmine Forsberg, the only minority with a featured role in this movie. Right on, children of the screen. So, Taylor, what's this movie about?
It's a Hallmark movie. Do they really need an explanation?
I guess not, but I'm going to give one anyway. Fuck it, we're here, right? So this movie is about Campbell and Gallagher, who are basically musicians who had their biggest hit is this one song, One Night in December. It was kind of a pseudo-holiday-themed love song from like 20, 30 years ago, and now they're doing their first reunion show in like over a decade. And on top of that, the record label that, or agency, they're very vague about it. I don't think the people who made this know how the music industry works, like, at all on any level, but apparently the children of both of these recording artists work for this label or agency, and they have been manipulated by their boss into trying to get this thing to happen. So it is all about them going and trying to reconnect with their parents that they are both estranged from and try to get this thing to go off without a hitch for their own personal reasons. And as always, they make a romantic connection throughout the course of the film, even though they don't bang. Because it's a Hallmark movie. Even though I still, to this moment, I declare this for all the internet, this movie would have been much better if it had ended with an orgy. A big family orgy. That's what Christmas is all about, right? Just like streaming arcs of jism from family members?
No.
Okay,
I think you've got the wrong holiday.
Yeah. Maybe my family's been doing Christmas wrong. I don't know. But that's what this movie's about. So, Taylor, just initial thoughts on One Night in December. We're going to go into all the details in a minute, but just overall the movie, what would you say? What are your thoughts?
Probably the 20th best Hallmark movie ever.
The 20th best Hallmark movie. And she would know. She's watched them. I've only watched the Cinema Snob reviews on them.
I had to endure every single second of them.
But some of those have Amy Acker in them. She's not in this one. She's in those, and she's a fucking goddess. Right on. So it's a Hallmark movie, so, like, let's not even bother talking about the writing. Let's not even bother. The director, as I mentioned earlier, put forth a valiant effort for a Hallmark movie. But let's face it, the real draw of this movie for anyone who doesn't just watch any Hallmark movie is the cast, specifically the two leads. So, Taylor, what are your thoughts on the cast for this movie?
Well, you know, getting Agent Grant Ward, best choice ever.
Discount Emma Stone?
All right.
Her ass isn't quite as good, but, you know, You know, she works with the material she's got. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gives an admirable discount Emma Stone performance.
Oh yes.
Especially with those eyebrows. She's working the Emma Stone eyebrows for a slightly lower pay grade. You know, but she's never played a half Hawaiian in a movie by a Texas filmmaker, so she's got that going for her. But I would say that for anyone watching this, the highlights of the movie have to be frickin' Campbell and Gallagher.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. Most of this movie doesn't focus on them. Most of this movie focuses on the younger characters because those are the ones that you're supposed to care about and empathize with. But interestingly enough, they're boring as fuck. Thoughts?
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like if they did a full movie that was mainly focused on those two,
The two old guys?
Yeah, the two old guys, it would be so much better. I would be like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry now.
Yeah, literally for everything you're gonna hear me say in the rest of this video, if they were to do a sequel to this movie that was just about the two old guys going on tour together, I would watch it in a fucking heartbeat. Because every scene they're in, despite the fact that the writing is very bland and it's very generic and it's very much every other Hallmark movie you've ever seen in your fucking life, they manage to, like, take those things. It's a truly great actor can take not the worst material, but not great material, and they can make something out of it. And these two guys both have huge filmographies, they've done all kinds of different work, and they know how to make those moments count. So anytime that they are on screen, the movie is actually pretty engaging. And the interesting thing that we noticed when we were watching it is that, like, even when the other actors in the movie who aren't necessarily all that good, anytime they're in a scene with those actors, it ups their fucking game. Like, discount Emma Stone, I didn't feel a fucking emotion from her throughout this entire movie, but in the one, like, truly sentimental, like, super cheeseball scene she had with her dad, I was actually like, oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. It's too bad that that cashmere sweater they have her wearing is fucking horrible. Sweaters are a big part of this movie. We might get to that more later. And I would say that the other actors that played the biggest part in this film are the hair for the individual actors. And basically our comments on the actors themselves is also true for their fucking hair.
Yeah.
Both Bruce Campbell and Peter Gallagher have amazing hair in this movie. And Ward and Discount Emma Stone, their hair's all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not even going to cut away for this. I'm going to show you right now that I'm looking this up because I made a note of this. The hairdressers for this movie are Dorico Jackson and Roderick Gregg. By the way, Dorico Jackson, you got a sexy name, motherfucker. And your picture's pretty charming, too. You got the little suspenders and everything. I don't know which one of you did what hair for this movie, but at least one of you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. In the movie, like, it's weird, because, like, towards the end half of the movie, maybe they shot this whole movie in reverse. I don't know.
Maybe. That might be it.
Yeah, maybe they just wanted to get, like, Gallagher and Campbell shit out of the way, so they shot all the end of the movie where they're in more of it first. Because towards the end of the movie, everyone's hair looks pretty good. In the beginning of the movie, the two leads of the movie, the ones who aren't on the poster most of the time, their hair's fucking garbage. Like, fucking Ward has, like, this cowlick thing where, like, every scene he's like, aren't I sexy? And it's like, no, dude, you're not. You're not right now. You got a great ass, but that hair, I can't get around it. And they keep putting you in the worst jackets and sweaters I've ever fucking seen.
Okay, Hallmark only has 5 jackets.
That's why Bruce Campbell wore all his own wardrobe, I think. I've seen so much of this wardrobe that Bruce Campbell wears in other, like, red carpets and other things he's done. I'm pretty sure he just brought his own stuff. Which I'm not sure if it was because he knew that Hallmark didn't have a budget for the wardrobe, or if it was just like, I don't want someone to have to measure me. It's embarrassing at this point. But either way, it was the right call, sir.
Yes.
And, like, freaking discount lady over there, like, she's got this thing going on where, like, half the movie, the hair on, like, her hair's just, like, curling up like this. There's this one specific scene where they're, like, walking through, like, a little, like, Christmas fair area in the downtown, and Ward gives her his hat, and I was so relieved, because for the first half of that scene, I was like, he's got a hat, and you can't see his bad cowlick. I wish she had a hat too so it would stop being distracting. And then he gave her his hat, and because he had hat hair, he didn't have the cowlick. And it was amazing, and that's when I realized that, oh, it's not just their hair, their performances are pretty bad too. So next up, weirdly, I guess we're going to talk about the locations and sets for this movie. Is it just me, or you've seen way more Hallmark movies than me? Is it just me, or are these the exact same fucking locations and sets that we see in, like, I want to say 3/4 of every Hallmark movie that's been made over the last 10 years?
Oh yeah, no, exactly the same buildings, exactly the same town, I think. I feel like Hallmark isn't telling us that they bought out of town just to film these.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, again, like, I'm sure there's some little podunk town in the middle of nowhere, and they just, like, give them, like, a retainer every Christmas, and then they go down and shoot the movies.
Yeah.
Because, like, and not just for Christmas, because, like, that shop that we see in the movie, that's the same fucking shop from the movie with Amy Acker, where she pretends to be a Christian so that she can try to get into Home Dude's pants, and then she ends up becoming a missionary because of it. One of the few other Hallmark movies I've actually watched, because, as I mentioned, Amy Acker's a fucking goddess, okay? But yeah, and then, like, you know, the school, I've seen that and other stuff. The little, like, square where both they have, like, the little, like, Christmas fair and where they do the Christmas tree lighting.
Yeah.
And I get it's a small town, but these extras must have been paid reasonably.
Yeah.
Because I have never seen people so fucking excited for the lighting of a relatively small, unimaginatively decorated Christmas tree.
Yeah.
They're like, yay! Like, it's like fucking Rockefeller Center. When they light the tree there, where, like, in there they have news cameras, and, like, the whole world's like, yep, it's a Christmas tree, but the people in New York lose their fucking minds because of the tree at Rockefeller Center, and it's, like, 200 foot tall or something. That's why in the Hawkeye show they have a whole action set piece set around it. You should watch the Hawkeye show. It's pretty good.
Definitely watch it.
By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, check out our video of Taylor reacting to the Rogers the Musical, which I'm going to put a link in for right here. It's pretty great. She hadn't seen it before. But anyway, yeah, like, the tree lighting scene is fucking weird. And also in that scene, they managed to work in one of the only two black characters they have in this movie, which there's one guy who's, like, I guess he works at the school, and he actually gets dialogue. Yeah. So good on him. The other lady, she just wears, like, a dope purple coat, and in every scene she's in, she's just, like, clapping her hands, and she's going like this to the music, like dancing like a white person, because that's what you have to do on the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, because it's a white person movie.
She's the best. She's a great actor because she dances like a white person, like nobody's business, and you know that's not how that lady dances in real life. She's like, it's okay, I got my purple Prince coat, so I'm representing, and I'm just gonna dance like a little white lady now. Because I'm on a Hallmark movie, and they paid me like $90 to $100 to show up each day to be an extra, and I was one of the few people of color, so they made me a featured extra.
Yes.
So, good on you, girl. You were working that shit. The other thing is, like, the hotel they're in.
Oh. Or
the inn. I've definitely seen that in other Hallmark movies, but normally it's, like, just a house.
Yeah, it's
something.
never a hotel or anything. I think this is, like, the second time they've used this as a hotel, which is weird because it's a really small hotel.
Yeah, it's a big house.
It's huge.
But a small hotel. If anything, they call it an inn.
Yeah.
To try to, like, negate the fact that there's no way you'd believe this is a hotel. But usually it's used as, like, rich white people housing. But in this, wow, this video is really racial, I just realized. Wow.
I mean, Hallmark is really... Anyways.
I'm gonna get some angry comments on this video. So yeah, but, like... It brings me to the next thing that I wanted to mention. There's a scene in this movie where Discount Emma Stone comes back to the inn, and she's got a bunch of, like, Christmas decorations. And Ward is like, are those for the Inhumans? No, I mean, he's like, what are you doing with all those decorations? And, sorry, I got him confused for a second. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has better production value, though, for sure.
Yes.
And he has better jackets. He has better jackets and better fucking hair.
Look! He said what are you doing with all those decorations? She said, I want to come home from a stressful day to a cinnamon-scented candle or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, why didn't you just buy a candle then?
Yeah, because also, like, we don't see the candle in the scene. What we see is a bag. And this movie does a good job of showing us bags of things in which they can get their product placement in. Later on, there's a shot where, like, there's just a bag of great value sugar. It's like the thing you would never put in the top of the bag because it would crush everything else. Yes. It's just sticking out of the top of the paper bag. Only in movies do people go home with paper bags of groceries. I was surprised there wasn't like that generic loaf of bread sticking out of it. But anyway.
And it was a 4-pound one, too.
Yeah,
It wasn't a small 2-pound. It was a big ass bag.
She used to work at Walmart. She knows what she's fucking talking about. What are you doing, Taylor?
I'm riding in a basket in the middle of Walmart in the middle of the night.
Remind me again, what company do you work for?
I work for Walmart.
You know better.
Yeah, but it's in the middle of the night. No one else is going to use it.
I guess that's fair. I guess. You do look adorable.
I am adorable.
But yeah, like, in the scene where she comes back with the decorations, we don't see a candle, but what we do see is only decorations that would go on Christmas trees. And it's just like, in this small fucking town, in this tiny fucking inn, do you really want me to believe that every fucking room in this inn has a Christmas tree? And it's not helped by the fact that anytime we see inside of the inn, we never see a goddamn Christmas tree in any of the rooms. There's one in, like, the lobby or the lounge area where they're doing, like, photos for the musician guys. But, like, the only time, like, I think we have, like, one shot in her room, and all you see is, like, a bed and a chair. And then, like, we have one shot in Ward's room where we see this really nice bearskin fuck rug that they're sitting on in front of the fireplace. And I was like, yes, they're finally gonna fuck something in this movie for me. And they don't. I think, do they kiss in that scene?
No, not in that scene. They kiss in a later scene.
They kiss in a later scene when they're not on the fuck rug. Because that rug is for fucking. Not for kissing. There's no mouth kissing on that fuck rug. No. It happened after we cut. You know, after they cut from that. Like, it happened.
It's implied. And
that one ornament that she had, that was like the one that has the multiple balls on like an icicle, we know what that's for. We know what that's for. It's not for her Christmas tree. She's doing the ping pong ball trick.
Okay, can we also, there's one more thing. Okay. One more location that I want to talk about.
Okay.
The stage.
The stage.
Why are they like, oh my god, it's a Christmas miracle when they come out? What's the Christmas miracle?
Yeah, like, okay, so, in my mind, first off, you always have to have that line in a Christmas movie, so it's there. Because the two people who created the story for this are like, what are the tropes of a Christmas movie that middle-aged white housewives know? And somewhere on that list was the line that some character has to say that it's a Christmas miracle. And then one of the other writers was like, and there must be an orgy at the end, and the other guy just scribbled that out. So, but we get the scene where, like, yeah, like, finally the two dads get together, and instead of blowing each other, they play music on this stage, which, by the way, that would have been a better ending. You would have won a Golden Globe for that. They get together, and then they're like, it's a Christmas miracle, and they do the little, like, cheek kissy and the huggy, and, like, it's like, yeah, but, like, literally in the scene right before this, they found out that the show was going on, or at least Discount Emma Stone found out that the show was going on, and she's the one who has the line. So it's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, no, you already knew this was happening. Like, there's no tension anymore. Right now, we're just waiting for the big payoff where Gallagher's going to sing and Campbell won't. Because one of them is a trained musician and singer, and the other is the star of the Evil Dead franchise. So, there's no tension left at this point in the movie, except for the question of, like, are all these people going to bang? But it's a Hallmark movie, so they're not. So even as much as, like, This Much Wild Turkey wanted me to believe that's what was going to happen, I knew that's not what's going to happen. This isn't a movie for me. I'm only watching this because it's the Christmas of Bruce Campbell. And, like, he doesn't even get to put his balls on the camera, so what are we even doing here? But yeah, and that stage is just built in the same little, like, square that they have the tree lighting. Again, this much wild turkey. It's it's the same set that they have like the fair and the square on, and it might actually be right across the street from the school because, like, I don't know though, this small town, it all fucking looks the same.
Yeah, I for some reason am pretty sure that they were doing rehearsals at the school, and then right across the street they were like, hey, that's a good place to do a concert.
They just looked over there and was like, there.
Yeah.
Let's build a stage there. Which, by the way, we didn't get to see the stage being built because that would have required them showing more minorities in this movie. So that we didn't get to see that. The stage is just fucking there magically all of a sudden. Maybe that was the Christmas miracle.
Oh my god.
That was the Christmas miracle. Fucking A. We figured it out.
Yes.
Outside of that, this movie does all the things that a Hallmark movie typically does. It sets up a few scenes that have really high emotional stakes, and then immediately fucking undercuts them.
Yeah.
Like someone coming and just like cutting the knees down, just cutting the shins off of a dwarf. Just cuts it down the fuck down. In this movie, they have a really well-performed... They have two really well-performed emotional scenes of Bruce Campbell telling people that his character has recently found out that he has Alzheimer's. Not Alzheimer's, it's pronounced Alzheimer's, okay? And then, in the scene where, like, Grant Ward comes to tell Gallagher and Discount... What's her face? Emma Stone. That's her face. That's her face right there. He comes to tell them, like, what's going on. We also found out, like, 2 scenes earlier that because Gallagher did not want to perform his big song because it was really about his wife and he hasn't performed it since she died. And we actually also had a great scene earlier where Bruce Campbell said that in all the years since they broke up as a group that, like, he's never performed that song because it's not his right to do it. Like, we also found out earlier that they filmed a version of him doing that song just in case Gallagher didn't want to do it, because if Gallagher doesn't do it, there's not going to be a show, and he's going to lose the house he and his daughter grew up in. So that's a big deal. So we get a scene where Ward's like, hey guys, I got something to tell you, and then this curly-headed little nitwit fuck, who's like the nephew of the person who owns the record label, comes in. What does he do, Taylor?
He's just like, I'm so sorry! And they're like, the fuck? What do you mean? And then he tells them. And it just undercuts the whole Alzheimer's thing, and it's just like...
Yeah.
Excuse me? What?
It's like, oh, the thing that had, like, the most emotional weight of this movie... And don't get me wrong, like, the plot line with Gallagher where, like, he lost his wife, like, that is a big deal in the movie, and it is, again... The scenes focusing on that are some of the best scenes in the movie, as well as the Alzheimer's stuff. Because again, the 2 older actors in this, they're fucking pros. They've been doing this for literally like 40, 50 years. You know, at this point, I almost said 40, 50 decades. No. Bruce Campbell will live forever in our hearts and minds, but he's not that old yet. You know, they've been doing an amazing job of setting up these scenes and playing these scenes, and like that stuff with his wife where he talks about her. That stuff's very important, and, like, this should be a pivotal scene that is important to this movie and a big emotional moment. But we just found out that one of the characters has fucking Alzheimer's, and that beats the fact that a character that we've never met died 10 years ago, and it has an effect on the characters in the movie, and they just automatically have this curly-headed fuck come in and just completely obliterate it. And not only... The only reason it's not predictable is because there are higher stakes that have been set.
Yeah.
And it's just like, god damn. Also, since I called him a curly-headed fuck, let's talk. Remember when I was talking about the hair in the movie? This poor bastard. Like, not only does he have just an obscene chin, like Bruce Campbell has an amazing chin. That's a chin that was made for cinema. This curly-headed fuck, who, to his credit, he's not a horrible actor. The scenes he's in, he does a good job, and I kind of actually now feel bad for making fun of his chin. That's not his fault. It's not like he had plastic surgery to get that thing put in. He was born with it. It's genetics. Good on you, bro. You're doing the best you can. But the problem is, like, he has naturally kind of curly, wavy hair. In the first half of the movie, it is like a fucking perm. Like, it is perm the fuck up. Like, it is like someone who thought they were getting Frank Zappa hair and ended up with something way different. They ended up with fucking so glow. And for this particular actor, in the first, like, you know, there are 2 hairdressers for this film, and there's not that big a cast. So I feel like for the first half, they must have had one of those people doing the hairdressing, and then at a certain point, they brought someone else in and was like, original guy, you're gonna go over there and do all the background characters. And you, guy with the overall, or the suspenders and the sexy name, you're gonna do all the main people's hair. And from that point on, it got way better. And by the way, for the record, as a filmmaker, I want to state, hair and makeup departments do not have it easy in movies. They have a lot to contend with, and yes, I'm making fun of them. But I'm sure that they worked very hard and did their best on this fucking Hallmark movie. At the end of the day, I think all the problems in this movie can be traced back to the fact that it's produced and aired on Hallmark. By Hallmark. You know? Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? It's a fucking Hallmark movie. Maybe you give a shit for the first 3 days. And then after that, you're like, nah. I'm gonna drink this much wild turkey, and then I'm gonna do this motherfucker's hair. Hey, by the way, this video is not sponsored by Wild Turkey. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but Wild Turkey, if you want to sponsor on YouTube, I haven't seen y'all doing any fucking videos, and I'll gladly do it. I've also got a Drunken Spider-Man. Actually, that's Jim Beam. But Wild Turkey or Jim Beam, if you guys want to sponsor my videos, I'm down. Fucking down. Because I can drink this whole bottle, and I fucking will. I should have silenced my phone, because there's a thing right there. Wild Turkey's delicious. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the curly-headed fuck?
No, he has really squinty eyes.
He does have.
I feel like he was just high for most of the movie anyways.
Probably. I'd be doing a lot of cocaine and drinking a lot of Wild Turkey and Jim Beam if I were in this movie. And I'm usually sober on set, for the most part. Right on. So, this is a Hallmark movie, and, like, honestly, this is more talking about it than I actually thought we would get after we watched the movie. A lot of that is thanks to future video sponsor, Wild Turkey. But Taylor, did you have anything else that you wanted to discuss or bring up about the movie or the characters or the orgy that wasn't at the end or anything like that?
Yes. So Discount Emma Stone almost ruined the feature minority's life.
Yeah! The girl from Alaska who she signed to her fucking, like, label, and then, like, with the, like, you know, advance, she moved down there. Which, by the way, they introduced the fact that she was raised on a bus?
Yes.
Like, she's, like, I don't, like, there's no more given about that.
No context at all.
It's like, I need backstory. If you're just gonna drop something, like, it's not like she's a member of the fucking Partridge Family or some shit. So, like, raised on a bus. Okay, tell me more. No. She's gonna sit there and eat her fucking pie while the white people go off and do white people things. But yeah, continue, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much as you said. Like, the show was about to not happen, and Discount Emma Stone just walks up to her, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm about to ruin your life, and this amazing woman is just like, no, you're not. And Emma Stone is like, what do you mean? And And she's like, I'm just gonna eat my pie and you're just gonna do your thing.
Yeah, she's like, I was raised on a bus because I'm not a white person, so clearly I don't care about money. Like, I signed up with you because I believe in you. So I'm going to sit here and eat this pie, which, by the way, the secret ingredient is nutmeg, which was weird because it's a Hallmark movie, so I assume the secret ingredient would be love.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and eat my nutmeg pumpkin pie while you go and make shit happen for me. And then, like, things just happen. That's all we get from her. But yeah, like... And, like, I will at least give credit to the movie for at least acknowledging at some point that Discount Emma Stone is worried that she signed this lady and convinced her to move from Alaska and all this kind of shit, and that, like, this might not work out for her. But still, how do I phrase this in a way that won't get this video just destroyed by YouTube's algorithm? Basically, we have this Alaskan girl playing the role of the magical beep. And the thing about that is, just because it's not a magical beep doesn't mean you can use that fucking trope. It's not okay. Okay? Just because you have a minority character in the movie and you make them, like, wise and carefree and have them give good advice to the white people doesn't mean that you're doing that character justice or properly representing that fucking culture. Beyond that, like, it's just sad that this character should have come up on stage and sang a song with the two main lead characters at the end of it, because she's the best singer in the fucking movie. And I think that this actress actually sang her own song for the movie. It was edited really poorly because it's a Hallmark movie and it's hard to tell. No offense to the editor, I'm sure you're not getting paid very much. I'm sure you got paid in chicken McNuggets or some shit like that, that you had to, like, dole out to your kids so they could survive, and then you got, like, one out of it where you're like, alright, now it's time to cut this concert scene. You know, click, 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 I can't even afford Final Cut Pro, I'm doing this shit on Vegas. You know, so, like... no offense to you, but, like, that scene's not edited very well, but I think she's the only one other than, like, Gallagher in this movie who does their own singing, and Gallagher's singing is very minuscule, and is so, like, heavily edited in terms of the audio mix, you can't really even tell. So, like, yeah, like, this character really is in the movie for almost no reason than to give extra motivation to the frickin' Emma Stone discount version, and, like, yeah, it's not a great scene, and, like, again, it's something that, like, is only there to give other characters motivation. Like, her character's almost completely pointless in the movie. And, like, you know that whenever the executives and everybody put that character in the movie, they give themselves a big pat on the back. Like, we're really progressive, and all the housewives in their, like, mid-30s and 40s are going to love this moment because they're going to realize, oh, this is that social justice stuff they've been talking about on the tweeter. You know, so yeah, but, you know, yeah, like, that's a bizarre scene, and it's just like, if you're gonna do that kind of thing, at least make the character fleshed out, and make the character be a part of the actual story, not just, like, playing the magical beep role, you know? The algorithm's still gonna flag me on that, I bet, because fucking YouTube hates me. That's a very valid point. Thank you for bringing that up. That's very socially conscious of you.
You're very welcome.
It makes sense for a beep! People can just insert whatever I meant that to be right there and leave me an angry comment down below. Because it's YouTube and that's what's going to happen anyway. Whether you're progressive or not, you're going to leave an angry comment. That's what YouTube's for. Also... future videos are sponsored by Wild Turkey and Jim Beam, which probably have something to do with how little or much entertainment you've gotten from this video. Fuck. I was supposed to have something else clever for me to say before the video was over, right?
Yeah.
So, there's this thing in terms of the cinematography and the editing and the... And having said that, thank you very much, children of the screen. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and share it with some friends. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you can check out all the dope content I've got coming out in the future. Furthermore, thank you very much, Taylor, for joining me for this video today. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, we always love having you on the channel. Boobs are always welcome on Channel
God.
Nerd Scum. Right on, children of the screen. Please have a happy holidays, and once again, thank you very much for joining us.
Bye.
Nerd Scum.